Welcome back to the Clydesdale Media News broadcast. I am with my good co-host, Kat Shear. And not that they're not all good. I don't even know why I put that in there.
I'm the good one. That's so funny. I'll take it.
Yeah, there you go. We take compliments wherever we can get them.
Hey, if someone else was here, they might be the good one. So that's what you get.
Yeah. It's whoever shows up, really.
Right?
That's whoever shows up is the good one. So, wow, it's been a crazy day. Like, we did a show this morning, scrambling around with some business stuff going on today, and now we're doing a second one on an event that we can't see, but we've done it before.
Yeah, right. We've seen the leaderboard, and it's very confusing.
So I talked to Justin this morning, Justin Cotler, that is. He is going to be joining us momentarily. He is getting debriefed on what's going on because he is not there either. Sure. And so his coaches are sending him a debrief to be able to talk to us. But early on, the biggest issue, if you tried to look at the leaderboard today, was there were over 50 athletes, and they used a scoring system for 20 athletes.
Oh, good stuff.
So if you finished 21st or lower, you got 0 points, no matter if you were 52nd or 21st. Awesome. So I believe that's been rectified, but we'll wait to confirm that with Mr. Cotler when he hops on. I have the leaderboard up. I don't know if you want to go to that. Big surprises to me.
Got a big
You're not echoing on my side.
Okay. Big surprises, yes. Who would you like to start with, girls or boys?
Girls are, I think, the big surprises.
Okay.
I got to hit share screen first. That would help.
I mean, the person that I was looking
forward to. I'll get good at this.
The person I was looking forward to the most was Annika, and I didn't see her on the leaderboard, so I was concerned.
So she is there, but it's not awesome. So I'm going to try to blow this up, and it won't yet. It will. Okay. So I've blown this up. This is the men. Yep. There we go. Women. Okay. So this is the leaderboard thus far. And I've got a cookie thing.
Did you say cookie? Do we have cookies?
But we have like Emma Tull, Emma McQuaid in the top 5. Mm-hmm. What is CrossFit Oslo doing?
Right. Yeah, they've got some serious athletes there.
Like they're becoming the European mayhem.
Seriously.
Bring
in our good friend here.
Amy Kringle. Oh, is he here?
Yep, we got him. Hey, Justin.
Hi, guys.
Hi. You can leave that up. We're still, we're looking.
Yeah.
I just came over to see him to say hi.
Oh.
Hi, bud. How you guys
doing? We're pulling up the leaderboard right now.
Good. We're confused.
I told them.
Is the men's updated yet?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Right now we're looking at the women's. Okay. I told them what you told me earlier, that they had a competition of over 50 people.
Yes.
And used a scoring system for 20.
Yeah, initially they fixed it, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, but that was this morning Kiefer was he was going a little crazy. So anyway, when he spoke to Dylan, and then they realized it, and then they fixed it. So, but yeah.
Is this a Loud and Live event?
Yes,
it is.
It is. Okay.
Yes.
Did he get any indication why they're not live streaming?
No, I asked, but yeah, I'm surprised. It's a pretty.
Are they not going to live stream at all, or just today because it's Friday?
I don't think there's any live streaming the whole weekend.
That stinks.
Yeah.
It's funny because we talked to Can West.
Yeah.
and they didn't live stream this year anyway either, and realized what a big mistake it was. And they told us they will definitely be live streaming for all future events.
Yeah, that's good.
So
I'm
it
just
surprised
surprised
me
with-
that someone like Loud and Live
Yeah,
wouldn't.
even if they did it like behind a paywall just to do it, like it just seems uncharacteristic of that organization.
I'm getting more and more updates as we speak. So
Okay.
I'll be able to relay some things.
Real time. I like it.
Yeah.
So we'll finish going through the women's leaderboard. You asked about Annika. She's in 15th place.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Her second event was the 0 this morning. She now has 45 points for that, I believe.
Good. Yeah, I think she was like 25th last time I checked. So that's better.
Yeah. And she took 17th in event 3. And then do we know what's going on with Kyra?
She finished 12th, I think, on the final workout. So she moved pretty significantly up the board. I mean, the 2K run is going to be what it was. I mean, honestly. So according to what I've heard, the 2K run was not really a 2K run. It was about 17 to 1,800 meters. I mean, if you looked at the time, obviously that seemed pretty obvious because the average time would have been a sub 5-minute mile for some of them. So yeah. So Kiefer said he didn't think it was anything over 1,800. So that kind of clarified to me a little bit on the times, because the times seem to be really quick.
Hey Justin, on that,
yeah.
do you guys get a heads up on that before like Kyra actually goes out on the race, or does that sort of affect her pacing and things? Thinking it's going to be 2K and then realizing that it's shorter, does that sort of mess up the strategy at all? Or
yeah, I think if you knew that, but I don't think that was. I think they just said it was 2K, and then like
nobody figured it out until after.
It just wasn't 2K, right?
Got it. Okay.
So I think that was just
everybody's in the same boat then with that in terms of
correct. Yeah,
okay.
Correct. But really quick times. If you saw some of that, some of the times there were pretty impressive. Said a ton of no reps in workouts 3 for people pitching the bar at the top, which obviously you're gonna see in a speed clean workout like that. But apparently Annika, especially, she had like 5 no reps, which cost her about 45 seconds. So that's not great. Easy.
What was that workout? Was it just a clean ladder?
It was double unders. It was 25 weighted dubs and then 4, 3, 2, 1 cleans. And you took the rope with you. So you did 25 dubs, 4 cleans, increasing weight, same rope, and you just walked through the whole thing.
Got it.
And apparently Easy just annihilated that workout.
Oh yeah. So I'm guessing what happened was people were just kind of like bouncing it off that front rack and not like coming to a complete halt, or at least not to the judges' discretion.
Weren't locked out at the top, like hips and knees, just kind of get it to the top and pitching it before they were fully locked out.
Right. Okay.
Some of the highlights. Apparently, I don't know how to pronounce her name. I watched her in Dubai. Manon Engani. Said she's phenomenal. Apparently, just really impressive day. Obviously, Lena Richter is a unit. She was on Navy Blue, Oslo Navy Blue. She's obviously a phenomenal athlete. I'd be interested to see maybe this year if she makes the transition from team into individual. So I'll be curious to see that.
So Justin, let me follow up on that. One, what is Oslo doing? Because they're putting together some athletes.
Yeah, it's very
this weekend.
It is very obvious and extremely telling that Norway now is government funded for fitness. All of their athletes have stipends, and they are all being paid to be athletes. So they,
Really?
from the top down, they are one of the only countries in the world that is funded by the Ministry of Sports in Norway, and as you can see, it is having a phenomenal payoff for their athletes. They are all improving leaps and bounds compared to the rest of the world, and I think it all has to do with the fact that they are, they're getting treated like athletes. Something which unfortunately I don't think will ever happen here. Probably will happen in some other European countries, maybe even in some Asian countries, perhaps, and maybe South American countries. But I would assume, because this is really a niche sport here, that that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But that, Scott, I think without question, that's the reason why.
So to follow up with that, so Lena was on navy blue.
Mm-hmm.
Now she goes individual. Matilda, who finished top 20 at the games, is going with the navy blue crew this weekend on the team, and they're just swapping athletes in and out and not missing a beat.
Yeah, it's not surprising. I mean, they're all incredibly talented, and they just have a, they just stocking up athletes. It's really impressive to watch.
Cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I think it's fantastic, and it's something that I wish we had here, but I don't see that happen anytime soon.
So the second event was the 30-20-10 toes to bar double dumbbell overhead squats.
Yeah.
Annika did really well on that one. Did you hear any other reports on that?
I heard that Braun was pretty unbelievable in that workout, Bronislaw. And if you've seen his social media, he's pretty incredible at overhead squats, and his mobility is amazing. So that's not surprising. Let's see. I don't have any other reports on workout 2. Other than
Lena won that.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think also that kind of, whenever you're talking about single arm dumbbell overhead squats, it's not a coincidence that a lot of the countries where gymnastics was kind of a staple growing up. So you look at, like the Scandinavian countries and some of the other European countries where, people who have phenomenal overhead mobility, which generally comes from a gymnastics background, and you'll see that they excel in a movement like a single arm dumbbell overhead squat. So it doesn't surprise me with is it Lena or Lena? You guys would know better than I would as far as how to pronounce it. But that doesn't surprise me.
That's a bad assumption, Justin.
Okay. But that doesn't surprise me. But we've seen, I think a lot of obviously athletes that are going to, that have a more stable and better shoulder lockout are obviously going to be, at the top of the list on that workout. But I mean, a wide array of events today, going from a 2K to a clean ladder. So pretty interesting, pretty interesting events. And then tomorrow you obviously get a nice variety of workouts as well.
Yeah, and basically event 2 finished, the top 3 were the top 3 on the leaderboard.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So Emma McQuaid was 3rd. I can't remember who's in 2nd.
I also think we have to assume that by the end of the weekend, looking at the field, that Emma McQuaid has a really good shot to win. I think she's the highest ranked games individual on the female side. if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah. And then obviously Lazar, who was unbelievably steady through the first day. You know, not a lot that he can't do. I think it's pretty impressive to see him top 10 on a speed ladder. You know, especially with that big of a field. But you know, he's pretty fit individual. So
Yeah, and what's cool is him and Luca are 1-2 currently.
yeah, Luca's
so
good, man. Luca's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luca's very good. I think he's definitely, you know, potential this year to make the games individually for sure. I mean, he was super close last year. So yeah, you got the
We'll pull up the men's leaderboard real quick.
cool.
Lazar and Luca 1 and 2. Oleg's Lashenko
I don't know Oleg.
3. Alexander Blazik is 4th. Jelehoste is 5th. And then Catullus is 6th, with Moonweiler 7th. What's crazy is Easy won event 3, and it's still left him in like 42nd place.
Yeah.
41st. 202 on that clean ladder.
What was his 2K time?
605.
Where's Travis?
31st. And he took 3rd on the clean ladder. His 2K time was 607.
And what was the placing on that?
29th.
Yeah.
He took 31st on the toast of our workout.
What are the points? Have they updated? I don't know that they've No, they haven't updated the total points.
Oh, okay.
You see what I mean?
Yep. I see you.
Yeah, they haven't updated because Travis and Easy will jump up for sure. And Luco looks like he might drop a little bit. Lazaro definitely being first with a 6th. No doubt about that. But now Luca still might still be in second, even with a 13th. He's still got 67 points.
Yeah.
But you're going to
especially with the 2 guys behind him in 51st.
Yeah, you'll see some big fluctuations there. Yeah, that's why I was curious because before we got on, I took a look and they hadn't updated it yet, so they still haven't updated the men's side. But you'll definitely see some pretty significant jumps from Travis and from Easy. But you know, it's weird, guys. Like I always say, like in events like this, you know, when you got such a big field and maybe you've got one event that's a single modality event that someone's maybe not great in, they might be great in a lot of other things. You never know how it's going to shake out on the leaderboard. So it's hard to, you know, it's hard to look at these events sometimes and say like, wow, what happened to this person? Well, you know, maybe they just had like their biggest weakness came up on one event, and then you've got 6 or 7 events for a weekend and they just weren't able to make up points with, you know, with the field the way that it looks like. So I kind of take these things a little bit with a grain of salt, and also depending on where people are, you know, in their training program for the year, they might have just trained right through this. They're kind of looking at this more as like a glorified training weekend as opposed to something they're really peaking for. So I never go too crazy about these type of events. They're more exhibitions for the fans. It's fun to see. But to me, unless somebody is really like, this is, you know, a grand slam event for them, or like something that they've circled on the calendar, to me, it's, you know, it's kind of like, okay, it's nice. You go to Madrid, you have a great time, go to Europe, take a week, enjoy yourself. But I'm not sure if you asked, you know, a lot of these athletes whether or not this is a quote unquote like peak event. You know what I mean? And that's not to diminish the event, but I think in a lot of cases you've got to look at it in a case by case basis according to where people are as far as their training schedule for the season.
You're on mute, bud.
So that leads me to this question. You have athletes like Kyra and Annika who did not get to finish the game season. Is it more important for someone like that to go and perform? Or would you as a coach look at that as more of a training opportunity as opposed to like Emma McQuaid, who just finished a month ago and is jumping back into an event?
Right. I think it's a nice spot at the beginning of the season to get a good kind of baseline as to like, under the gun, what do things look like, right? And then it's a great way to kind of take that and then tweak programming a little bit to look at, you're against a relatively big field. There's probably some specialists who are really good at specific things, so you'll get a good idea of how you stack up in certain events. And to me, I would take it more as like a learning experience of how to formulate the season, as opposed to like a holy shit, you finished 20th in this event, or you finished blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't worry too much about that, because at the end of the day, the end goal is obviously like the season and looking at, making it from semifinals to the games in whatever capacity that you're trying to get there, whether it's individual, team, etc. But I think it's more of a really good barometer of like where you are at the beginning of the season, taking that, and then it's really good nuggets to learn from to be able to put into programming.
Yeah, and if nothing else, it's just an opportunity for reps, right? Like more reps, more competition
experience, traveling. Right. How do you handle the nerves? How do you handle nutrition, sleep, and all that stuff? Because you're out of your element. It's a foreign place for most. So those are all really good learning experiences. And for athletes like Kyra and Annika, who are both, I'm not going to say newbies, but they're still at the beginning of their careers, really. It's a good opportunity for them to kind of take a look at it, take inventory, and then, be like, okay, this is working, or this I need to tweak, or like we're improving here, but obviously we need to get better, that type of stuff,
Yeah, and their elite competition age is very young.
Yes, definitely.
So what effect does that travel do to an athlete? You're 6-8 hours ahead, 9 hours ahead, depending on where you live. How long does it take them to adjust, or do they not adjust and they have to just figure it out on the fly?
I think it's tough. I mean, you get there. It was Kyra got there on Monday, and you compete on Friday, and it's a 9-hour time difference. There's no way that your body's adjusting in 3 days, 4 days. If this was the games, you'd probably want to get there 2 weeks in advance. So it's a different scenario. I mean, I really think, you do the best you can under the circumstances. You try to acclimate the best you can, and obviously like being super diligent about hydration, nutrition, those types of things can only help you. Making sure that you try to adjust sleep when you get over there, and that you don't like get off the plane and go straight to sleep because that's going to obviously fuck you up. So it's important, I think, to do the best you can, but really kind of taking into consideration that it's not an ideal situation, but then you look at it and you're like, well, this is an incredible life experience, right? You get to go over, you get to compete in Madrid, you get to hang out in Spain, and then they're gonna make a little holiday of it, and take the next week to go to Paris and this and that, and travel around Europe a little bit. So this is what's such a cool thing about this sport is the opportunity to be able to do things that most people don't get to do. You get to go over for your job and compete, and then you get to go and have fun in a foreign country and see the world. It's pretty cool, man.
So here's my last question, and then if Kat has anything, I'll let her finish up. Kiefer has been with you all last season. He was kind of your right-hand man. He's over there running solo. Are you looking for anything out of him as a coach during this weekend? Or do you have complete trust already in that he can run the show?
Yeah, I have complete trust, but I also think that these are great opportunities for him to continue to build his competition chops as well. He's I think Kiefer is phenomenal. But I think his background especially is on the programming side. So last year, being at a ton of big events with me, and then at the games, obviously, and now, the opportunity this year to kind of go and run the show at Madrid, and then he's going to be down at Rogue, and he's going to be at Wadapalooza, and then obviously semifinals and whatnot. So these are all, I think, just phenomenal opportunities for him to continue to gain experience on the coaching side, and especially during competition, like in competition chops, which I think are very different than preparatory and programming chops, which he's got in spades. So it's just another opportunity for him to get better, but yeah, I mean, I trust him implicitly, but I think for him, these are great opportunities.
Just like an athlete needs to get their competition chops, a coach needs to do the same thing.
Absolutely. 100%. No substitute for experience. There's no question about that.
You're on mute, Kat. We're both doing it.
Sorry. So big news yesterday came out of the CrossFit space in terms of Catrin, Amanda, Sam Quant, heading over to HWPO. Not a huge surprise with their relationship with Harry and everything else. My question is, what do you think about that, and how soon can we get Chandler to Vegas?
Catrin was a pretty big surprise to me. I thought Sam and Amanda, I don't know, I guess I had already thought that was news. There. I didn't realize it was, I don't know. I was making a joke yesterday that I joined HWPO because apparently you can't compete in this sport anymore unless you join.
Well, you were there. You've been in Vermont, so I'm sure those rumors have already started.
But, yeah. No, I mean, listen, I love Matt, and I honestly had a great time spending time with him this year. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the news is kind of over the top at this moment. But yeah, I think Sam was already with Harry. Amanda, I'm not surprised. She used to work with Harry. That's not a surprise. Catrin, I was surprised with. I think, Catrin's kind of getting into that point now where she's just trying to squeeze whatever she can out of whatever she's got left. I don't know, I think I'm curious to see how it works. Yeah. I think I think Yami's an incredibly competent coach. I mean, his resume speaks for itself. I mean, he's got CrossFit Games champion, multiple CrossFit Games champion in Annie. He's got multiple podium contender in BKG. He had a team that finished 4th at the games this year with very challenging circumstances. There's not many better than Yami. So I'll be curious to see, what that situation and how that situation does for Catrin. Obviously, Harry's great and Matt's phenomenal, and what they do at HWPO is great. But sometimes there's something to be said for sticking in a place too, and trying to create some consistency in some cases.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see about that. As far as Chandler, I love Chandler. I think he's awesome. And anytime he wants to visit, he's welcome. I don't know that he's made any decisions. I know he was in San Diego not too long ago, and obviously they've got some great athletes, with especially on the men's side there, with Josh Alchama and Jorge Fernandez. I don't know what their plans are individually or team this year at Invictus. I know there are a lot of athletes here that are close with his wife, and Chandler and I have always gotten along well. So, even if you just want to come here and shoot the shit, I would love that anytime. And, we've got a few athletes that we're talking to, and a few athletes that, have already kind of made the switch. I haven't started programming for him yet, but I've been talking to Bronislaw from Poland. So, looking forward to working with him, and Caitlin Van Ziel, who from Australia, who's individual games athlete a couple years ago, and then on a team the last 2 years. She's looking to go indie again, and we have a couple other Australian individuals that we're looking to start with, and then I think you'll see some athletes here in North America that we'll be talking to over the next few months, and we're really, I think at this point, trying to make a big push on up and coming athletes. A lot of athletes are on the cusp and who are looking to kind of get to the next level, and we're going to put a lot of energy into trying to build those athletes. I think that's something that we all have a lot of interest in here. Kind of what happened with Alex this past year.
Yeah, I love that.
I think there's something to be said, obviously, for taking athletes that are kind of already upper echelon and trying to get them to maybe from 10th to 3rd or whatever. But there's something to be said about I think athletes that are kind of just embarking on their careers too, that are super interested in trying to make it a career and get to the next level. And us, I mean, it's all about kind of nurturing them as people as well. And I think we can have a hand in that. That's something we're really interested in.
Yeah, it's just like our podcast, really. It's what we do too.
There you go.
So that leads me to a follow-up, and that is, it seems to me, being a college football fan, and I know you are, the U, and it's almost like the player portal and college recruiting.
Yeah.
It's getting competitive because there's so many camps now.
Yeah.
And is that something that you think is good or bad for the sport?
I think there's pros and cons to it. I think, listen, if they're athletes who feel like they're not getting what they need or to get them to the next level, I can understand wanting to go somewhere else. But I also think, again, that there's a certain amount of consistency and that you need to have on a season to season basis. I think too much volatility is not good. So you've got to stick something out for a little while if you make a decision, because if you're just constantly changing, I'm not sure you can really judge as to whether people are helping or not. It's kind of hard to say. So I think that that there's going to be some scenarios where it's going to help. There's going to be some scenarios where it's going to hurt. But I'll be honest with you, our goal now, when people come, we are really looking to try to create as much consistency and as little volatility as possible. Like we would love from here on out to the people that come to us stick with us. And I think a lot of that has to do with us, not being very old as a brand and kind of figuring out our culture, and what kind of the personality of the camp. And now that I think we've done a really good job of identifying that, I think you're going to see with us that when people make the decision to come with us, that they're probably going to stick with us for a long time. That's my goal, so I think a lot of these other camps are frankly just a lot bigger than us. They're bigger than us. They have considerably more means. They have the means to pay athletes. They have the means to put athletes on salary. We don't have the means to do that. So, when you come to us, it's really like something you feel in your soul. You know what I mean? Like it's something that you just feel with every fiber of your being. And, because you're taking a leap of faith. I can't pay you a salary, which some of these other camps can do. And in some cases, that's a good thing. And in some cases, that's a bad thing, right? But but for us, it's where we're at. We don't have a choice. So it's going to be a scenario where if you come with us, it's because you really want to be with us. And I think that's going to be something that's why people are going to end up sticking.
Yeah. When will
thus the
people see
name.
you again? When will people see you again, Justin, outside of Vegas? You heading out anywhere to any
Rogue.
off-season stuff? Rogue. Okay.
I'll be at Rogue with Ricky.
Grab me some cowboy boots, please.
Okay. Sounds good.
Size 8.
Well, thanks for jumping on, Justin. I know you're busy.
Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna I'll shoot you a text because I'm gonna try to get you guys someone on site for the weekend so that you can get some real good nuggets from the actual competition.
We
Awesome.
appreciate it.
All right.
And you're always welcome to jump back on with them, or
Oh yeah, sounds good.
because we always have questions for Justin.
Sounds good. I love coming on with you guys.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thanks,
My
Justin.
pleasure. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye all.
Bye.
So, Kat, just to sum up, we have the Jukic brothers leading on the men's side. We have Lena from CrossFit Oslo in the top spot on the women's side, with Emma McQuaid in third, Emma Tall in fourth, and second place I didn't know. And then we have
And it sounds like the scores haven't been updated either. So we think
the women's are.
Oh, women's are. Okay.
Women's are. And it's Valentina Rangel is second, with Manon Anganese in fifth.
I bet Brian Friend knows who she is.
Oh, I'm sure. But with that, we thank Justin a ton for jumping on with us. I actually wanted to ask him a couple questions. If we get him back on this weekend, he had made some statements about there not being an off season anymore for CrossFitters, and that could damage the long-term athlete in the long run. And I kind of want to get his take on that as well.
Yeah, it was funny when we were talking with him. He just said too, like, this is the beginning of the season, and I was taken aback because to me the beginning of the season is February, right, with the Open. But he really truly believes that it's happening now, and that is a problem if that's the case.
It is, and something I really want to talk to him about if he jumps back on. But with that, we'll let you guys get back to the rest of your day. We're going to try to get somebody on site tomorrow, and we'll do it probably around the same time, I'm guessing, 3:30ish.
Whenever you're available.
So with that, we'll catch you next time on the Clydesdale Media News segment.